This is Shorthammer. It is the 28th of October, 2019, and we are taking a look at Amazon. Now, Amazon did miss on earnings and guide down. They are investing a lot of money in their delivery business, and long term, that's going to really pay out for them, especially over the holiday season. The buy up was not what I expected, but what I was watching when the market opened was this push, and 1705 was my line of demarcation. And I was watching that point to say, okay, if this thing is bullish and people are just buying this up, as we remember what happened with Cat missed earnings, got it down, dropped, and people just bought it up. So we don't know how long that will continue. Is Amazon going to rip and run? But what I did notice is that it pushed up into our 1756 area, pushed above, but closed below. So we'll see what where we are on Monday and what the buyers are saying and what the sellers are saying. But this 1705, as you see, tap, tap, push through back above, tap, right on it, tap. And this buy up, once we got above that, it seems that we just had an explosion of buying. And even from this supply demand zone, we see this reversal here as the buyers were stepping in. That was a pullback. They're gone. So this to me on the 4 hour chart, I'll be watching these levels on Amazon, not racing into it. We'll see if we can pop through the 1805. To me, regardless of how much buying that I see in Amazon, until we clear 1805, I may scalp long or scalp short on different positions, but I'm still overall bearish, at least temporarily, until we close over that 1805 area. Once we get over 1805, then I'll stop being, uh, I'll say pessimistic and thinking that all these strong runs will get sold off. But we'll see what happens, and I'm going to watch the levels here. Let's take a peek at the 5 minute. See if I can find that. Where's our 5 minute? There we go. And so if you watch as we go into the open, we held the 1653, bounced here, got above this supply demand zone. And once we opened, we tested the 200 SMA. Once we get above that, you see the buyers just squeezing this thing. We run right through the 1756 area, pull back, ride the bottom of the channel. If you're looking at the channel between the upper 1740s and the 1830s, and back down again, and we're kind of going sideways here. We'll see where we open, but the intraday pivot for Monday is at 1740. I'll see if we are above or below that, and I'll also see where we are in relation to the 1756 supply demand line. But I'm neither bullish or bearish on Amazon, just because the market it's weird because CMG beat on everything, but it dropped, 30, 40 points. So what the market is valuing is slightly variable. So for me, I'll wait to see intraday setups, and I'll buy off of major levels if I plan to hold anything overnight or hold anything for a longer term. But right now, I am just taking pocket scalps. So if, let's say I wanted to play the week on this, I'll see where we open and push into. If I see weakness, I might fade off the 1756 and see if we drop down here to any of these other supply areas. If we were to, let's say, I'll give you an example. So on Friday, if it wasn't for earnings and Amazon opened doing this, you can easily get long here, but your risk is back here to 1683 or the bottom of the supply zone around 1670. So if I had chased this or hopped into this, my risk is way down there. But to me, the better risk to take if I was entering this trade, right? I'm like, hey, I'm going to take Amazon here. And I actually did take Amazon Friday. It was pretty good. This push up through the the 200 SMA and pull back and hold the 1705, then you can enter in here once 1705 holds. So on this back test here, get in. Your stop will be the low of this candle, 1702. And as you run into me, if I had multiple contracts, as I run into this 200 SMA, I would probably scale half. And then once we held above, I'll ride the other half up here. And when I see us kind of plateau a little bit, I'll probably be really careful here. And I might scale another 25% and then ride the last 25% up into this area, the next supply, this supply demand zone. And once we hit this supply demand line, the first touch of this, I'll probably scale half of my 25% that was left and have a stop of a break below this as my exit, like a close below this is my exit. That's probably how it's like for me. That's the way that I would play that at each level of potential supply or demand, depending if you're short or you're long. At each one of those levels, I look to scale out a few just to be able to lighten my risk. Okay, cool. So that's my thoughts on Amazon. We'll see what happens on Monday, and some of the volatility should be out. So those options should be going back over the next few weeks to the normal price.